Hey guys. Alright, so getting quite a bit of work done on my quilt. Been working on laundry, which is why I didn't start working on videos earlier. Probably do more videos tomorrow because the weather's supposed to be kind of nasty tomorrow, so it's supposed to start raining later tonight. So, yeah. But I've been working on laundry, which takes a minute because the sinks are small, or the sink is small. And I'm tired. Just kind of want to take a nap, but figured I'd get another video done here. Well, right now we're on section 2 in the book, Homesteading from Scratch, and it's on farming. Oh, and before I get into this, Chloe and I put our heads together last night, and we figured out the verse for Faith First Farm and Homestead. And it is Matthew 21:22. You can pray for anything, and if you have faith, you will receive it. Faith first. So that was Matthew 21:22. You can pray for anything, and if you have faith, you will receive it. Just wanted to let you guys know that. We finally came up with our verse. Alright, so this is chapter 5. Section 2 on farming, and chapter 5, where do I get land? Renting versus owning. And I'm going to split this up into several, or a few different videos, probably 3. This one is just going to be renting versus owning. Alright, here we go. When we first decided to start homesteading, before we even knew that what we were doing was called homesteading, we went searching for land. I can't even read, I'm so tired. At the time, we'd already defaulted on one mortgage. Like many American families, the 2008 financial meltdown hit us hard. We were laid off and wound up broke. So gross. I don't know why I said that. My hair is like in my face. I need to say that. In fact, that was probably the catalyst for our homesteading journey. We never wanted to be in a position of such insecurity again. So we started looking for new ways of doing things. At first, we thought running a full-time traditional goat dairy was the way to go. But as we researched and found out how much property was needed to keep a herd of dairy goats, as well as the cost of grain and feed, it just wasn't feasible. $250,000 spread out over a 30-year period meant that our dream project wouldn't be paid off until we were both in our 60s. You don't have to go to that extent. Technically, you don't need that much, even though they're trying to say you do. Now, if you're trying to dairy farm with goats, like actually try to create a dairy farm to make money off from, then yeah, you would need more money or more space. But to just have a few dairy goats for just your own family's personal use, then no. Alright, so we tried strange and unusual ideas. We moved our family of 4 into an 80 square foot tiny home. We tried different things with family members, leasing land, rental agreements, etc. And we wound up buying about 4 acres in North Carolina. With a 10-year note, we learned a lot in the process. Excuse me for a second, guys. Alright. While bouncing around from place to place, we found out that homesteading and renting were not mutually exclusive. All the ideas we tried, from our tiny home to raising dairy goats on family land, actually worked to some extent. Even when we found ourselves in a situation where we couldn't plant a garden in our backyard, we leased land specifically to farm. And we found out something that was amazing. Leasing farmland is certainly cheaper than buying it. Farmland in North Carolina leases for about $250 a year. And that's if you go looking for farmland. If you go for odd little bits of land, vacant lots in your city, an elderly neighbor's backyard, or a patch of growing space in your community garden, you'll actually pay a bit less for the space and sometimes be allowed to use and sometimes be allowed use of the space for free. Leasing land does have its drawbacks. Sometimes you won't be able to build structures on the property, and you may have limited access to water and other amenities. But the whole process is a lot cheaper than buying 40 acres in the middle of your rural dream, unless you go through classic country. Don't take buying off the table, however. Just try to be a bit more picky when making that commitment. Look for contract for deed offers. The interest rates are usually lower, and therefore the mortgage payment doesn't last as long. Empty, out-of-the-way lots without water or electricity can usually be had for just a few $1,000s an acre, making an off-grid homestead well within the reach of most people. That's why classic country is such an option. Ultimately, though, beginning with a bloom where you're planted attitude goes a long way and lets you get started. Even if you do find yourself in a situation where you're moving every few years, think military families, and you might feel like there's no point in doing anything until you're in a stable situation. However, that is incorrect thinking. Point of fact, there's no such thing as a stable situation. In the meantime, while you're waiting for stable, you can begin feeding your family, learning new skills, and finding out about your limits. All of which are a lot better to understand before you spend a lot of money on your dream property, only to find out what you thought homesteading isn't for you. Either way, whatever you decide to do, buy or rent, there's a few options for farming and homesteading you should be aware of. And I'm going to go ahead and stop there for that one. And I'll get this one up there, and I will see you guys in a little bit. The next one is on yard farming, which takes in quite a bit, and then the last one will be micro farms and urban farms. So I will see you guys in a minute. Bye, guys.